Hello, hello, hello. Yes. Hello, Łódź. Yeah, I did it. I trained a little bit. So before I start, first rule in design is break the rule. So I'm gonna make an experiment, and I'm gonna put you out of your comfort zone. So follow me. Could you stand up, everybody, please? I love that. You control the room. Yes, you're in charge. Okay, everybody moves forward. I need you, no, on the seat, sorry. Yeah, come and fill all the rows. Don't stay in the back, basically. Come. And so the people who are in the front, good. Come. Fill the rows. I don't want any empty seat everywhere, please. It's an experiment. Yeah, come on. Okay. During that time, you have time to settle. I would like to thank you, the Polish UX guys and girls I met. Thank you very much for last night. Thanks for the hangover. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Have a seat now. So, shall we start? Okay. Thanks. That's cool. Okay. Come in the front. That's the experiment. So, I was born in a mechanical world, full of objects that had one purpose: a VHS to watch movies, a Walkman, if you remember it, to listen music on, and so on. Compass, walkie-talkies, thanks to Stranger Things. Also, you know, vinyl records, and Polaroid to capture instant moments. A world of tapes. So, one day, when my father came with this, it blew my mind. Check out the features. True to life game sounds, on-screen scoring, difficulty options, and my favorite one, you can't see it, it's color on color TV. That was that tech, you know. And as a kid, I knew that I wanted to be part of that tech. And it shaped who I am today. I became a designer. So when I was working at Apple, I used to travel often to Cupertino, the headquarters in California. And when you arrive at the US border, you know that it's definitely not the good time to make a joke. The guys are really serious, and every time they ask me, because they ask you, what is your job? And I would answer, I'm a designer, I work for Apple. The cop's face would instantly change and become friendly, seriously. And the guy would say, hey, I love your iPad, man, seriously, you did a great job. I didn't design the iPad. But I started to understand what people feel when they truly love a brand. They are delighted. They want to be surprised. And they are the true fans. You remember the queue in front of the Apple store? It's crazy. It's fantastic in a certain way. So how do we make that? I have a video to show you how. as you see, I've been a bit brainwashed by Apple. I'm fascinated by technology, but I strongly believe that technology shouldn't interfere on what I'm doing. If I run without music, because you don't need it. You don't need technology to run. Sometimes I use a device to track my progresses, but I don't need to watch it. And it's in the background. It tracks everything I'm doing. That's enough. So recently, I watched a documentary about the revival of the vinyl. And the owner of the factory said something that resonates to me a lot. It was about listening a 20-minute side record and just doing that. And he believed that this is the way the artists want you to hear their music, like this guy, sitting, enjoying, and focusing on the music, and not be interrupted by a damn tweet or notification. I'm thinking of buying that kind of turntable soon, because I want to share some good music with my 2.5-year-old son. I want to teach him an alternative way to use tech. And especially this one is beautiful. Don't go online, it's sold out. It's called the Gramovox. So, next year, it will be the 10th anniversary of the iPhone. So already 10 years. So let me ask you a question. Who has an iPhone? Raise your hand. Ah, impressive. Who kept the box? Raise your hand. Ah, interesting. Things is moving. Isn't it weird? So let me tell you the story of that box. Imagine one day your boss is asking you to think about 2 designs of packaging for a revolutionary product, the iPhone. It was 10 years ago. And after countless hours and work and weeks of work, the designer in charge came to show his 2 versions to Steve Jobs. The first one was a piece of art, really beautiful box. And the other one was a simpler version of the first one. So when Steve Jobs picked the simpler one, just imagine the disappointment of the tired designer. And he was courageous enough to say, why? And usually you never ask why to Steve Jobs. I sell phones, not boxes, Steve Jobs answered. But now, make the opening of the box beautiful. So there was a team doing the opening, and a lot of designers worked on it. It's a true story. So I don't have a box today, but if you open an iPhone box, it takes 7 seconds. And why 7 seconds? Because you really want to open it and use the phone. It's the perfect balance between frustration, you want it, and pleasure, you're gonna have it. So I love to play with emotions, and I ask you to be closer than me. So I'm gonna start a little experiment that definitely puts you out of your comfort zone. So I need you to take out your phones. It's a famous trick. Please, take out your phone, yeah. Unlock it, please. So I'm gonna do it with you. Mine is unlocked. I'm gonna use you, okay. Now, pass your phone to the person on your left. Here's my phone. Okay, how do you feel? I feel it, like there's some kind of stress, a little bit. Why? Because if you study the proxemics, the relationship we have with people, the first circle is the intimate circle where belongs your partner, your kids. So what you just did is you pass your intimate phone to a completely stranger person. And that's the emotion I want to create. Okay, yep. So give the phone back, thank you. After this talk, come to me if someone use your phone. If someone use your phone, it's really interesting. So I bet you're gonna remember this little experiment, because there's a very simple fact. Emotions equal memories. So you want another example? Not something difficult. Do you remember your first kiss? Yes? Do you? I do, and it was a disaster. It's why I remember it so well. What I didn't know at that time was my girlfriend didn't love me. She just wanted to try a French kiss, and it's probably why it was a disaster. So it takes time to design things, but not everything is well designed. You remember yesterday all the example from William? Sometimes when I talk to CEOs or small business owners, I like to ask one thing about their app or product or service, and it's a bit crazy. What if your product could talk? Imagine that, a second. What if the product could say about their interaction with humans? So imagine that. I'm a design therapist, and products come to my coach and talk about their troubles. Usually I don't reveal my sessions, but today I'm going to make an exception. So let me introduce you to Miss Bulb. Modern, green, energy saver, quite a nice bulb. So me, what brings you today, Miss Bulb? Miss Bulb? Well, as you know, I'm well designed, but the problem is my packaging. They made it anti-theft, and thieves are human. So basically, they made my packaging anti-human, and here's the result. I'm pretty sure you know that. It happened to you. Poor Miss Bulb. So in one hand, we have a beautiful 7 seconds opening, and in the other one, a packaging that you probably can't open. Your marketing director will argue, come on, everybody can use scissors to open it. Don't make our life complicated, more difficult. I never find the scissors, never. So, and I have dozens of clients who came to my coach. And for example, Miss Password. This guy kills human. Seriously, I hate passwords. So I need to read it because it's really complex. For your password, you need at least 8 characters long with English uppercase, lowercase with some base digits. Seriously, the last line kills. No more than 4 consecutive upper lowercase characters in a row. Basically, it took me 15 minutes to find the right one, and I don't remember it at all. It's a waste of time. So how about Miss Formfield, who wants everything about my life? And isn't why social was invented, the super buttons? And there's a study about that. There's a better way to do it, but I don't have time to present it today. So are you getting, you see the problem we have. So there's a measure I like to use, a kind of barometer of the status of your app, service, or product. Something that it helps people to understand why. It's called the tappiness. Tap plus happiness, tappiness. It's a nice word, sorry. How does it work? Basically, start with the perception, the emotion of your product. Remember the opening? So I used to ask, what do we want people to feel about your product? Once you have done, once you have answered to that, well, basic UX tricks. Is it easy to use? Is it accessible? Useful, findable? But now, once you have addressed those 5 points with a positive experience, then I could ask, hey, isn't the profile of a true fan app, service, or product? Because you generate positive emotion, not like the stupid packaging. And people trust you, and you engage with them, and you make money, by the way. So our job, my job, your job, is to move people from frustrated to satisfied. And because if you find a group of people who are complaining about something and something wrong, and you fix it, they will love you. And also you're gonna make a good business. You're gonna make some money. Remember, emotion equal memories. But that's not something new, is it? After all, design formula haven't changed for decades. Human interface, emotion. The border US guy, the iPad, a real true fan. You receiving your iPhone, the ceremonial, the opening, and the pleasure of using it. The lady, the anti-packaging stuff, and the frustration to open it. But I come here with one idea, a little, very simple idea. What if we change the order? What if it's human, emotion, and interface? What if we start making the computers adaptive to us and not the other way around? So I give you an example. I'm working on a little app that wakes me up every morning. So if I don't have my glasses, the app will ask me, do you have your glasses? And I could say yes or no. And if I said, no, I don't have my glasses, the interface would change instantly and make the font bigger, the contrast better, because the app knows me. So you're thinking about that kind of tech? Yes, of course, we can use that. There's tons of sensors. There's a lot of things coming. But you know, I think, as a designer, my job is to simplify that. And here's a good trick you can use with your client for the UXers. Very difficult to say. If we use tech for good and design to make the tech transparent, if we respect humans and help them, the only thing we need is to use more art to generate emotions and to create a more human adaptive design. So I'm writing a book about that, obviously. It's called Human Adaptive Design, but it's unfinished yet. Now, I would like to show you one of many, many examples of what could be done if we place emotions before anything. And let me show you this video.
But for us, we wanted to create, again, something that would visualize something you couldn't already see. And we treated 4,000 of these stones with a very, very sensitive compound that I reformulated to change color purely to temperature, but in 4 colors in 0.5 of a degree bandwidth. So it went from black to red to green to blue in this 0.5 bandwidth, but the spinel stone is an ACE conductor. It conducts heat like nothing else. So depending on what area of the brain that is in use, you get different color fluctuations across the head. And this was a complete happy accident.
So basically, she just invented a piece of jewelry for Swarovski that the color will change related to your emotions. Have you ever seen that kind of piece of jewelry? So last night we were in a dinner, just imagine the color. Like, it was crazy. So on that side of the spectrum, you have that kind of art. But on the other side, have you seen the movie Her? It was mentioned yesterday, and it's from the famous director Spike Jonze. It's the story of a writer who meets an operating system, an AI, called Samantha. And I really want you to watch that and think about tech, please.
Keep walking, and stop. Now turn around 360 degrees. some cheese, please. You want Coke with them? Sure. Happy to be hungry. Thanks.
I think you were hungry. Seriously? I wish we will not ending like them, please. Our job is to make our world better for humans, not for AI. And think different. That was an easy one. Thank you very much.